Okay, we will get this thing started. My apologies. Zoom is acting up. I just don't have any excuse for why Zoom acts up. I am just here. All right, Sally, let me make you a co-host. 1 second, we'll get everybody cooking here. How you doing, Dr. Raphael, the
Fantastic,
Colonel
sir.
himself?
Hello.
Hey, Miss Sally, how are you?
Wonderful. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Marrero, Dave,
There
Mr.
we go. There we
Clark.
go. All right, we will get cooking in just a second. So the question of the day. Oh, here we go. I'm going to make sure we. Oh, wait a minute. I got to make sure everybody can share. Zoom is kind of acting up on me, so let's see if I can make this work the way it's supposed to. Everybody can chat to everyone, and the question of the day is: what is your one word for doing business with the government, the federal government? That is, pop that into the chat. Where are you from? And what is your one word in doing business with the federal government? We have a list of things coming up that I'll review a little bit. What's your one word, Sally White?
I can only think of two. Dangerous opportunity.
Dangerous opportunity. Ooh, that's a complex answer.
Well,
How about you, Dr. Raphael Marrero?
Thing, so.
Is Peter Tibbetts going to join us, by the way?
Sadly, no. He's so busy from last week.
Okay.
Yeah. So
all right, cool. Yep. Doctor, what's your one word for doing business with the government?
Government.
Government. Rob Wolf says mysterious. Ooh. Coming right out of Halloween, I think that was one. Yeah. George Madosky says crazy. How you doing, George?
Hey, George.
See, man. Terrence Winslow says good morning. Obviously, that is awesome because Terrence is an awesome individual.
Yes, he is.
But so where are you from, and what is your one word for doing business, as Raphael would say? Terrence from Costa Mesa says tedious. Ooh, I like that one too.
I do too.
So I would agree with that as well. So we will get the session handouts momentarily from my staff. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Hold on a sec. I think
coming in. Got a lot of people coming in, Dave. Morning, everybody.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, tedious, government. I like that. Mysterious, crazy.
All right. What else we got?
Well, that comes from, I don't know if you remember the U.S. Marshals movie with, they were looking for Dr. What's his fame? The Fugitive.
Right, yeah.
Not bad for government work.
Not bad for government work.
Right.
That's right. Exactly. I'm going to pop.
Tommy Lee Jones, right? Remember that?
Yeah. I do. I definitely remember that.
I love that movie. That's one of my faves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Fugitive, one of my faves. So when I talk, I love that movie. I love Harrison Ford anyway.
Not bad.
Ken says nebulous from Chicago. Sounds like a scientist to me.
Nebulous.
All right. Who else got something? Where are you from, and what's your one word for doing business with the government? And we'll get started in just a second. And while you guys are answering that, I'm gonna just start rolling through these because we do have a lot to cover today. Now, what are we doing? We started all over again in 10-1, and we're under what's called a continuing resolution, aka a CR. And the hot seat questions for today is what happens to the government spending during a government CR? What can we do right now during the CR? And what do buyers need from us to become one of the 91%? You're saying, what does that mean? I'm going to tell you what the 91% is. And a bonus question for every one of these: how does Sam Radar help? You may be asking yourself, what is Sam Radar? SamRadar.com is a game changer, and we'll talk a little bit about that today. So participation, we love it. We love the chatification that we have here. We love the fact that we have people saying that, and Usman from Phoenix, ugh. That's a big ugh. It's like, ugh. I think that's how you meant it, Usman. And Phyllis says, is from Fast Technologies. Awesome. Great to meet you, Phyllis. What's your one word for doing business with the government, Phyllis? And Mike says muddy from Pensacola.
Word. That's a
I
good
love
word.
it. And Stan says, forget about it from Houston.
That's great.
That's a classic. Forget about
Get-
it.
Oh, I like Phyllis. Phyllis says, get at it. That's in all one word. Get at it. Love it, Phyllis. That is awesome.
Forget
All right, so we have a reasonable amount of people. So if you have any questions, raise your hand or pop it in the Q&A. We'll keep the chat in this light thing. A quick disclaimer: if you're from industry, this is not affiliated or endorsed by any government agency like the GSA or other agencies, provided you for informational purposes only, and it does not guarantee a contract award. And if you're a govie, we love you. And your participation is voluntary, and it's not an endorsement of any vendor here that happens to join us who you would like to be able to buy from at some point, I'm sure, but it's not an obligation. So that's what that means. So today we will connect you with experts. We got Greg Clark in the house. We got Dr. Rafael Marrero in the house and Sally White. And if you want to stick around, we've been talking a little bit about Sam Radar. We'll talk about a lot more. We got new things happening in Sam Radar. So my first question, and this is a real poll, and I'm doing my best to. All right, why are you here today? You're here because you're new to federal contracting. Wait a second. One of my clients is asking me to contact him. All right, there we go. So I'm sorry, go ahead, Sally.
Oh, I was just gonna say, who does that on a Tuesday morning or Monday roundtable? I love
That's
it.
exactly right. Pexi clients that just got
You troublemaker.
That's right. So we do have some folks that are here that were one of the 173,518 prime federal contractors that won last year, Doctor. Because there was some winning happening. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, we will have in the session handouts. I should have this now. Let's see. Hopefully these are here. If not, they will be populated later. Whoops. That is the session handouts. I'm going to get my my stuff, my session handouts too. Pay no attention to that Word document that just popped up mysteriously on the screen, because this is the rest of the information that goes along with that. That's my information, and you can pop your information in there too, right, Sally?
Yeah, but it's not pay no attention to that man behind the curtain, right?
So yeah, we like to help folks out. So there's that information. So what's one word? Let's see if we got any more one-worders. Do we have more one-worders in here? John Burgess says, I know a guy.
I know a guy.
hey, I know a guy.
That's great.
And that goes with Stan. You and Stan got to get together, John. Forget about it. I know a guy.
You know a guy who knows
a guy. Sally White says frustrating.
I did, and I heard that a lot last week at the government conference.
Gene Weaver says protest.
Overwhelming.
Chuck, overwhelming. Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. So while you're doing this, you might be wondering the question about the 91%. I'm going to tell you about the 91% of the dollars, the ducats. So first things first, of all the contracts that are issued, 75% zero competition. This is historic. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. I just wrote a blog on it. Recapped fiscal year 2023 spending. It's a preliminary report because we still have DoD dollars that come in that aren't that don't show up on FPDS. But I'm telling you, this is historic. 75% across the board. 91% of the dollars were shortlisted. That means that's the question about the 91% in our hot seat question number 3. And if you take a look at what's happening here, 1.34% hit SAM.gov. This creates a problem for us, especially since the government, Rafa, the government says, I post everything on SAM.gov. That's where I put all my opportunities. Well, is that true? Obviously not. Nope. So that's why this is really important. We'll be talking a lot about SAM Radar and some of the things, because 98% do not hit SAM.gov. And if you want to compete for the 98%, you better be working on all this, right? So Can you send me a clean copy of that, please? What do you ask? Thomas Stallone. Hey, Mr. Stallone, how you doing? I will get the clean copy is going to be on the blog, right where it says new blog on that. So that in my links to everybody for the session docs, the next link there is a new blog, and you can download that from samradar.com. All right, let's see what we got here. We're going to end this poll, share the results. 59%, Greg Clark, new.
Yes, sir.
New to federal contracting. Some of them have subcontracts, and some of them, and we have 19% that actually are winners. We appreciate you guys joining us. And 54% been here before, and 46% brand new. Welcome to everybody. We really like the fact that you decided to join us today. All right. So I just shared this information about the 98%. So, and I'm going to ask this question in a poll so we can keep everybody engaged. Let me ask you a question about this poll. Let me see if I can find it, because Zoom has changed the way that they operate.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Do you want a piece of the 98% that never hits sam.gov? Yes. You want to compete for it? No. You only want to bid on the 2% that hits sam.gov and GSA eBuy? Or do you not believe me
No.
that only 2% hit 98? Only 2% hit sam.gov. Now, you can be honest. You can call me out if you want. That's okay. I appreciate it.
I'm here for the chicken wings.
All right. So you can answer the rest of those questions. I'm going to introduce these folks here today that are joining us. We got the doctor, the colonel, the Kentucky Fried Cuban, also known as. Oh, I did bring these. Hey, Sal, you got yours? You got yours? In honor of the doctor with the sexy blue glasses.
Yeah, I'm getting mine.
You got yours?
I do.
All right. So the reason we honor Dr. Rafael Marrero this way is because he does have the sexiest blue glasses on the planet, number one.
On the planet.
And number two, he helps folks with capability statements, briefings, videos, websites, and business cards. Federal business cards, right, doctor?
That's it.
And we're going to show those off in just a minute, because if somebody on your marketing team says, what is a capability statement, and they have this face, then you obviously need to talk to Dr. Rafael Marrero, because that's what he does for a living. And he's really, really good at it. And I'm not. So I send everything over to you, don't I, Rafa?
Absolutely. We help them look good and fit right in.
That's right. Make it look like you belong. We also have Greg Clark here. He is a proposal writing group called DK Associates, right? Am I doing that right, Greg?
DKA is right below the picture.
DKA, right below this picture. Right. So, and we'll talk about proposal writing, getting GSA contracts, whether it makes sense, because it might not make sense, or it might make perfect sense, right? Right there, Greg.
It's pretty easy to determine, but that's it. Yes, it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. Now, you might know a little bit about unsolicited proposals too, which we're going to be talking about in a couple of weeks. You're on for that, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. Fantastic. We also have Sally White, who is a master connector. She goes and does all kinds of things at different events and helps show people off. She's also happens to know a little bit about LinkedIn, don't you, Sally?
Absolutely. I'm wearing my Show Me the Money green.
Show me the money.
Just to kind of match some of your slides. And so happy to be here once again. Welcome, everybody. 56
awesome.
people.
So we'll feature Sally in a few minutes and talk about LinkedIn and how you can use that. Peter Timmis is not here today, but he does help with funding. So if you need funding for your contracts, or your bank is saying, hey, my head explodes when I think about federal contracting, snap a picture of that bad boy so that you can reach out to Peter and get funding. Is Irene, what's Irene's status? Is she going to be joining us sometimes again?
Yeah, she's right now, she's deployed.
Oh, she's deployed.
Yeah,
she can't.
Literally deployed.
She's deployed. All right. So she's she's an interesting cat. So anyway, she helps with government procurement solutions and getting certifications. Brian can't join us today because he selfishly has his own program right now, talking about accounting stuff. So he's a former contracting officer. If you're interested, you can reach out to him at acquisitionhelp.com. Good buddy of mine. We do a lot of work together, and I am the CEO of ISI Federal. I will be doing a SAM.gov tutorial tomorrow, and I'll be joining Greg in a couple weeks talking about unsolicited proposals. I help folks with data, marketing, business development. On the right-hand side, you'll see the kind of things that we do. We also have GovBrief, where you can be the subject matter expert. There's a call. We're calling experts, calling panelists, folks like Sally White, folks like Greg Clark, folks like Rafael Marrero, who lost his camera. I have no idea where you went.
I'm here. Here.
And your camera's not.
I'm here. Sorry,
there he is.
I fat fingered it.
I don't know. I don't know with that.
There you go.
So in addition to that, we also do things for industry. If you're a subject matter expert in industry, we have Kiwi Hendricks with DLA, who's the DLA guru. We have other folks like Brian Hebel, ITML, Federal Benefits Institute. They're all folks that we help to reach folks into the federal government. So we also do SAM Radar, which you'll see. We'll talk about that. 2 minutes a day. 2 minutes a day is all you have to do to start, and you'll be building relationships. Can it really work? You try it for free, and you tell me. And then we also monitor SAM.gov, and we monitor GSA eBuy, which happens to be down at the moment. And we also market GSA Direct to Advantage. All right, let's end this poll and see how many people. We have one person who said they still don't believe, right? And everybody else wants to compete. That's awesome. I love the fact. Look at this. That's one of the best. That's a 95%. And then one. All right, fantastic. And we will we'll feature a little bit of Sam Radar in a few minutes. But hot seat question of the day. I'm turning these into polls too, just because I want to know what you guys think. Mm-hmm. So hot seat question number 1 is, what is the question? What happens to government spending during a CR? So what is a CR, Sally White?
The CR is what's happening right now.
Continuing resolution, right?
Continuing resolution, absolutely, and it's going to end Friday, and so it's going to be a big topic, and people are frightened if they have government contracts. And when we had a presentation before, you assuage some of their concerns.
Yep,
because it
that
could
was
go
for the
either way.
shutdown.
Yep, government shutdown. Yep.
So we do have a potential shutdown. We were going to do a briefing today about that, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. At least
briefing or the shutdown.
What's that?
The briefing or the shutdown.
The briefing or the shutdown. They're neither one of them are happening.
Right.
We're not doing either one. We did one on the 29th. That's what Sally was talking about. So what happens during a CR, Rafael Marrero? What does the government do with their spending? Do you know?
Basically what it is there's an agreement to continue operations until a specific date. There's the items are funded right up to a certain point, but the formal budget for the year has not been approved. And
that's
by the way,
correct.
This is not uncommon. This is pretty much par for the course. In fact, it's actually the contrary to what we believe. There's only been like 3 or 4 historical cases that I can think of in the last 50 years where government has actually gotten its act together and had a budget approved for the new federal fiscal. I'm going to fact check that, and I'll bring you the exact instances, because the norm tends to be, because of bipartisan bickering, of course, on both sides.
There's bipartisan bickering?
Oh yeah, surprise.
I can't imagine it.
We're here to tell you what to do during this time, right?
Yeah.
And give you some practical feedback that can actually help you navigate these waters during this time. And I've got some recommendations. You let me know when you're ready.
I will let you know. We will talk about that in just a minute. So what happens to government spending? What do you see, Greg Clark, happening with bids coming out right now? I will say this, that they do spend money, but the bids, there are not as many bids, certainly not as many as you had at the end of.
You have RFIs though, Dave, and that's important.
That's true.
And that's where
I love that.
A lot of value because you get ahead of the competition by doing that, right, Greg?
I love that. RFIs.
Yeah, but we've seen opportunities just steadily decrease as agencies go to contract vehicles and MATOCs, right?
Ooh, there's another one.
That's it's so different now that when I got started in '94, where everything seemed to be a single award contract,
Mm-hmm.
and now
That's a huge deal, huge problem. Matter of fact.
yeah, there's you have to be on vehicles in order to see the opportunities and be eligible for award.
That's exactly right. It goes to what we're looking at here, right? Where a lot of what we're looking at, all the awards that are happening, there's still money being spent, by the way. This is year to date. There's $168 billion, 168 and change billion dollars that has been spent in October. That was in October alone. So the money still happens, but like Rafa said, it happens at the rate of last year. Well, last year they were spending at $1.7 trillion, Rafa.
That's right. That's
right.
right. And then to Greg, just to kind of round out Greg's statement, which I completely concur with. There, where I see challenges, I see also opportunities, right? So, small business set-asides are not going to go anywhere near anytime soon. So I would recommend that you use this time to actually spit shine your capabilities statement and get your collateral ready and to look at your DSBS profile, right?
Ooh, love it.
To look at that, because you can get yourself positioned for an unsolicited proposal, which is something that Greg and his team do stellarly, right? So, I mean, we can, I'm telling you, we have an incredible pool of talent in this group here and we complement each other. I don't get paid by Greg or anyone for saying this. I believe in his capabilities and I believe in Dave's team. That's why I'm here. So I'll tell you right now, if you haven't done so, set some time aside to speak to Greg because he can help you craft an unsolicited proposal and what's known as a sources sought notice capability statement, which we excel at, right?
There you go. I love that. So there's a couple of things that I like there, and we will get to that. That's actually part of the second question that I'm going to get to in just a minute.
Sorry,
but we will talk about that. See, we don't practice these things. We don't. That's why
Dave,
it's called
did you
a
want
hot
to wait
seat
on
question.
questions? Did you want to hold on questions or you want to answer?
No, go right ahead. Who's got a question?
Ms. Debbie Mitchell, come on in. She says, I own a catering company. How can this help me obtain contracts?
Oh,
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, hang on a second. Let me find Debbie. Let me find Debbie first.
I've got some great suggestions for that.
Yes, and you have some great clients that you've done some phenomenal branding and websites for, I might add, Dr. Raphael.
Yep.
So Debbie Mitchell, you there?
Yes, I am.
Awesome, Debbie Mitchell. Where are you located?
New Iberia, Louisiana, heart of Cajun and Creole country.
All right, I'm talking
and
gumbo
I
land.
need to work. I want to work in Texas, and I want to work in Louisiana. I want to work all over.
All right. Well, guess what? There's a lot of government stuff that happens down in
Louisiana. I'm in.
Yes, I have equipment that's roadworthy. I first responder for the Red Cross whenever there's a natural disaster. So I have the equipment. I just need the contracts.
Sounds like FEMA land to me, right, Sally?
Absolutely. Sounds like FEMA land. You came to the right place.
Maybe that's right, FEMA and also MREs, right? Meals ready to eat and serve. That would be perfect for her, for FEMA. And CDC, by the way. Just saying.
But that's not all, because to your point, you can do catering all over the place, Deb. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, Deb.
I just finished a 6-year contract feeding the U.S. Marshals at Camp Beauregard.
Ah, so lots of past performance.
Yeah, that's right. So that's great. So you have past performance with U.S. Marshals, right?
Correct. And I feed the Louisiana Air National Guards, Army Reserves, but that's, on a rotation basis.
So, and National Guard you have?
Yes.
So National Guard straddles two different sides, right? They do state and local. I mean, state and federal, right?
Yep.
So, and U.S. Marshals. So how was it? How big was your contract with U.S. Marshals?
It was a 6-year contract.
How much was it for?
It didn't have a value because they only had feeding when they were training, so it was just tossed up. They tell you 80,000, but you were lucky to make 40.
All right. So over the course of that contract, the reason I was asking is, do you know if you have a CPARS on that?
I do not.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know what that is, a CPARS is kind of like your grade for your report card. So what I would say is this as well. So number one, you want to evangelize your success with U.S. Marshals, because that is what gives them comfortability with you, right?
Okay.
Right. So you want to make sure you're reaching out to people, and you may be wondering, how can I find the people that are doing it? Well, that's how Sam Radar can help. That was super selfish of me and a great setup, Debbie. But yeah, you want to find the folks that are operating in your space, and you want to go after those people. You don't want to sit back and wait. You want to go after them.
Okay.
It's like, how did you get that contract, by the way?
I'm 8A certified, woman-owned certified, MBE, WBE, minority business enterprise, disadvantaged woman business enterprise.
You have it all
So
going on.
I have all the acronyms in the
You
alphabet.
do.
You know, that she probably put some mean gumbo in front of them and got them to say,
That's
"I'll
right,
stop."
man.
That's it. That's it.
Actually, for the U.S. Marshals, I did a sampling of what I could do,
See
and
that?
they hired me on the
Wow.
spot.
I know my stuff. I'm telling
Love
you.
it.
That's the way to do
Debbie, be
So-
sure and put your information to the panelists so that we have it, because I know that, again, Dr. Raphael works a lot with restaurants and organizations. He could help you.
Yeah. And spice companies. and
Yeah,
spice
exactly.
companies and
That's right.
purveyors.
You work with
Yeah.
spice. What's
Exactly.
the spice company you work with, Rafa?
Oh, I have it right here. I want to show it to you. So I have Ambaselli Foods. They're a manufacturer of spices. This is a
Yeah.
woman-owned firm, and she's up in she's up in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. Let me tell you, this lady is impressively intelligent. She's impressive. She's highly intelligent. She's an engineer by trade, okay, and she came to the United States to work in a food processing company. Learned the business, loved this country, wanted to stay. She set up shop, Dave, and you know what? She's crushing it right now. She's got business. She's got business going on with Amazon, with all the major e-tailers. She's got a point of sale strategy. She manufactures her own spices, right? And when we were designing her work, Dave, my creative director ran to the kitchen and said, "Wait a minute, I remember this brand." And he came up and found the
Came
jar.
out with it.
Yeah, he was using it
awesome.
for barbecuing. He said, "This
Well, you
stuff's
got to
awesome."
get that. Make sure. Well, that I think what Sally said was great. Make sure you pop your stuff into the chat,
Yep.
so that we can make some connections for you. And
then Raphael,
8A. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
So-
Raphael, be sure to connect me with your client in Utah. We can go have lunch together, because remember, I'm in Park City. So do a group
Absolutely.
text.
Absolutely.
And then number one, and then number two, I have someone who just got a contract, a government contract doing conferences. And as you know, governments do a lot of conferences, and they have catering contracts.
Yep.
So I'd love to connect you with this company that's doing government conference contracts, and they could meet you and possibly bring you in to do catering for those.
That,
I have a follow-up
We
with
have a paella
with
company
Debbie,
also.
Dave, if is Debbie still on?
Yep.
Yes, I am.
Is there?
So you were asked how you got that contract with the military, and you said, well, you're 8A and you have all these ownership certifications. Well, a lot of people have that, but they haven't been able to have that translate into contracts. So how did you get a contract?
My BOS in New Orleans
Mhm.
told me about the contract that was coming up, and I went to sample with them. And once I sampled with them, they hired me on the spot.
So it was a contract coming out and you got it sole sourced.
Yes.
Mm.
But her strategy was she was very smart. She took the whole gumbo thing and did the samplings. Product sampling never fails at this. It's not a point of sale in this case, but it's actually at the venue, right? With the clients. Always
Correct.
cater to your clients and show them some love. And that's what she did, right?
Correct. I
That's
went
it.
to the U.S. Marshals compound at Camp Beauregard and brought food with me when I interviewed. So they were able to see and taste the food right then and there. And I also manufacture my own spices. It's low sodium. And I have a spicy and a
I'm in.
regular. So
I'm
I
in.
brought all that with me to
I'm
show them
in.
that I have a
Dr.
low
Raphael,
oxygen.
this is your
I'm
person.
in. I'm in. Listen, I'll give you a 1 hour consult for your gumbo.
He's
Hey,
not.
I can do that. Tell me where I need to fly. I'm there.
Debbie, I have to tell you something super quick. So you spell your name Debbi, like my former
Correct.
boss, Debbie Fields from Mrs. Fields Cookies. And back in the 80s, when I was in the mailroom working with her, she would come in, she had 24 cookie stores, and she got going by sampling her cookies in Palo Alto, California. And I just basically said to her, I don't know, there's been this woman, she's new, she's on television, her name's Oprah. I bet if we got cookies on her show, she'd sell more cookies. So I would love to connect you, Miss Debbie, with my friend Debbie Fields, because
I would love
A,
to.
you spell your name the same way. B, she loves helping people, and C, she has a ton of contacts. So
Awesome.
Yep.
Love it.
and
Love it,
D,
love
she's
it, love
her
it.
company is a unicorn
Awesome.
company. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the stakeholders, because I think that let me make sure this is resuming. Okay, here we go. So the stakeholders that we're talking about building relationships with, that you were talking about, Debbie, is you were actually talking to both project managers, the people that actually serve the food, and the contracting officers, the ones that gave you the award, right? So we also have contracting officer representatives and senior management. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what it looks like for the folks that are new. You have your politicals that are appointed, right? Then you have your SESs, your senior executives, and your these are your deputy directors and folks that are just underneath of your political appointees, right? They're the lifetime bureaucrats. On the left side, you'll see program people, and on the right side, you'll see procurement, because guess what? These are the folks that care about your gumbo, how great it is. Now, the contracting officer probably cares about the gumbo too, if you did the sampling with them too. But by and large, they're the ones that care about the quality of the food, while these other folks care about how they get the contract done, right? And what you made it easy for them is you're an 8A, so they can do a sole source award. That's what Greg was talking about, is that they didn't even have to go out to put that out for bid, because you can get a sole source award from your socioeconomic status. Not only that, you can do it as a woman-owned. You got 2 check boxes. You got woman-owned and 8A, minority, right? And that's a benefit to the buyers. So the buyer, though, doesn't come up with the need, do they? It's the program people that come up with the need. They say, we need gumbo. And they throw it over the fence to procurement. And those are the folks that we're going to see in the session handouts. You'll have the winnable opportunity matrix. That's the program manager. Program manager needs something, throw it over the fence to the contracting officer, and that's how opportunities happen. At the end of the day, 91% never hit the street. And you were one of those for how many years? 5 years? You said 5 years, 6 years? What'd you say?
6 years with COVID. They added an extra year because of COVID.
Oh, right on. And when does your 8A expire?
My 8A expires in 2026.
2026. So you still got time.
It
Okay.
sounds like the opportunity was already in the works when you Debbie, when you got involved, and for it to still go to you as a sole source, that must have been some crazy gumbo.
I brought crawfish etouffee. I bought gumbo. I bought jambalaya. I bought Greek. I brought Haitian. I bought
Oh my
Bahamian
God.
dishes.
All right.
I bought
We're-
vegan, vegetarian.
We're closing the
covered all
webinar
the
down, and we're
bases
heading to
just in case.
Louisiana because
And then I
Debbie's got
I
a
brought some hollow
smorgasbord.
foods.
Oh my gosh.
That is awesome. Love it. Okay,
So when I
so
went in with everything.
that's awesome. So hot seat question number 2 is, what can we do during the CR? And Rafael Marrero was actually talking about this. I'm going to open up the next poll.
Yep.
Whoops. I'm going to find this.
I'm right with you,
Hungry
Danielle.
now.
Starving.
What can we do during
The
the
people in the
CR?
chat, the people in the chat are starving, Dave.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm hungry too.
Yeah, we're all hungry.
Yes.
That's
yes.
all Debbie's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
All
good that's a good thing.
So we just wait to post bids. We reach out to federal customers. We reach out to our new prospects. We team and we sub with primes who are winning. And what would be a great big help for you may be that we're talking about this, Rafa. Let's show us off that capability statement you got there. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Yep.
I say I'm gonna stop sharing.
I'm gonna show you the thing.
Stop
I'm gonna show
sharing.
you the beauty.
And you can share your capability statement of the spices and by the way, the government buys everything, right, Rafa?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And everybody needs a capability statement, even if you don't have super
Wow.
sexy spices or things, right?
Wow.
Does anybody see this?
Gorgeous.
Debbie's already, now
Wow.
Debbie's hungry.
Debbie, this is not only informationally compliant, it draws on the colors of the spices that Miss Sylvia sells, right? So you've got elements of color there. You've got in the background, because she's from Africa, we came up with some African patterns in the background to model that. And then we use red, green, and black and use the black space as to kind of offset our type and everything. But look at the graphic elements here, right? And you'll look this brand up. Bamboselli is very popular in Amazon and other. I drafted her capabilities narrative to comply with new informational requirements. Look at the core competencies and look at the key differentiators. They speak the language of contracting officers. How do I know this? Because I was one, right? At the Fortune 500 level, and also as a program manager for government. So I sat on the other side of the table and I evaluated vendors all day. That's what I did for a living at the highest level. So if you look at private labeling, brand design and packaging solutions for product testing and quality assurance, right? She's got QA, QC. She's an engineer. End-to-end product lifecycle management, market research, etc. Custom blending and manufacturing services, wholesale program. Look at the key differentiators. What's the number one thing that I called out? Made in the USA, right?
Why is that important?
It's big because there's a big push for to repatriate our supply chain manufacturing facilities from the People's Republic of China because of various issues with human rights there with the minorities in the country and how they're exploiting slave labor. And so we want to create jobs here in America, in our inner cities, in our communities, right? And Sylvia, rather than talking about it, she's actually doing something about it. She's got a great facility. And all those beautiful products that you see down there, Dave, they're all hers, right? So if you notice, she's licensed. She's not reselling someone else's package and putting a label on it. She's actually licensed by the Food Establishment of Utah, right? Those are her contact information, Sally. So I'll do the intro. And then she's selling to Walmart, to Amazon, community marketplace, and others, right? She got an award from the SBDC in Utah. So she's got 10 years of experience. If you notice, this is a well-crafted, well-written capability statement that captures the 6 C's, right? It's got her code.
What are the 6 C's?
Well, you've got your codes, right? That's number 1.
Yep.
You've got a capabilities narrative is number 2, right? The company information is number 3, right? This is a continuation of the industry codes. Now notice that I have NAICS codes and I have PSC codes.
What are PSC codes? What does it stand for?
Product supply codes, you need to have
Product
them.
supply code.
You got to have them. You got to have them if you're doing work with the federal government. If you're doing work with the state government, then it's commodity codes or NIGP codes, National Institute for Government Procurement. They also go by the United Nations Supply Chain Product Codes when it's an international deal, like at the UN. Then you've got your other C, which is a contact information. You see this right here? Government business point of contact, right?
Yep.
And certification.
Raphael, I love how you have a picture of her on that. That is beautiful. And Miss
Yes.
Sylvia.
She's got a great smile. She's got a great smile and she represents her brand. She's a brand ambassador. So this is the, guys, no kidding. This is the way you need to look. And Dave, I've got a before and after to show you. This is gonna, I mean, this is a labor of love. Obviously, we were competing to see which one of our designers could get the job. We sent her 5 designs, Dave, from 5 different designers in our team. And she was like watching the ball. She was watching the game on Sunday. And she said, wow, now you've really made it difficult for me because I've got 5 beautiful samples from different artists to choose from, right? Everybody was competing for hers because they were in love with the brand. This is what we crank out. Now, she came to us with a PTAC design capability statement. You can imagine what that looks like.
PTAC is what?
But before there were the procurement technical assistance centers. They've been relabeled the Apex accelerators now.
Yep. And
But
show us the high quality PTAC stuff that you see.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to show you.
That's what I have.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
PTAC
PTAC people want to do good things, right? They want to do good things.
Of course. This is
We just
not-
need to help them do good things, right?
Good
So go
people
ahead.
that want to do good things. Yeah.
Yeah, let me stop sharing here. Let me show you. we had a gentleman, by the way, a veteran, that was actually doing work with the PTAC and came to me with a actually this was not even a PTAC, Dave. This was an unscrupulous company up in northern Florida that we all know.
Oh yeah,
I'm
it's in
gonna
a
show you-
it's not, I mean, it's in a Tampa St. Pete.
I'm going to
Stay
show
away.
you what they did and how much they charge them for this. This is ridiculous. So this is what they gave me,
Oh my
Dave.
God.
Anybody see this?
Scary.
See that?
Mhm.
This is the way they treated one of our veterans, right? So they designed this. This was and they told him, oh, and please don't change anything. Please don't change anything, right? So I'm going to show you what we came back with. Okay. That's before. And by the way, Mr. Morris is a service disabled veteran. He served our nation. He's a very, very talented security solutions provider, right? So I'm going to show you what we did with him. And you're going to love this because this is what it's all about.
Yep.
I'm going to show you right now. So this is Driver Technologies. This is what we did for him.
That
Wow.
is fantastic. man.
Beautiful.
Wow.
And that's why I send all my stuff to Rafael Marrero. So what
Difference.
can we do? We can reach out to these folks, right? Now you got to get it to them. You got your capability statement. You want to proactively go out after these people. Now is the best time to build relationships, right? Right, Sally?
Absolutely. It's a wonderful time. You can do it on LinkedIn. You can do it at conferences. It's the perfect time to build relationships.
So if there's anything we know is that people still buy from people they know, like, and trust, period. That's what happens everywhere. You do it, I do it, they do it. It doesn't change just because it's government. And yes, there are spending a lot of money even now, right? Right? We just showed it. It's hundreds of billions of dollars already spent this year. So that's what we can do. We can reach out to these folks and go get them. Because if you're waiting for it to happen, I have people tell me, I registered on sam.gov. I got everything I need. Yep. I'm never going to see
Romance.
you.
Dave, can I show them when you get a minute just what they
Yep.
could do with their LinkedIn? Maybe I'd love to.
Yeah,
have
yeah,
that stuff.
well, yes. In fact, I want to do that as part of the 91% part. I
No
want to do
worries.
that in the next question. I do want to
No
show the LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Positively want to do that.
Okay.
Let's see. We got Debbie's information in there. Gregory's here. Gregory, unmute yourself. I gave you the ability to unmute. Gregory says, we are literally made in the USA manufacturer. What do you manufacture, Gregory? If you have a microphone.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can't. Wow, look at that picture.
Yeah.
Is that really you?
Yeah, it is, but it's one of those, I mean, one of those, what do they, I don't know, they filter it or something.
I don't know, man. That looks like a Marvel character or something.
Yeah, I hear that. Here, let me see if I can, well, I
It's
can
all
turn
right.
my
Go ahead.
camera on, but anyways. So yeah, we're an electronics contract manufacturer out here in California, and we basically do, contract work for just industrial customers, some of them in the prosumer area, some of them, small portion of them are independent, like third-party military. But we make everything here in the U.S., from the ground up per se, for
That's
the
awesome.
small to the kind of medium-sized customers. But we also have a electronic, or I should say electric actuator that drives ailerons and flaps and things of that nature, kind of in the aerospace market, in the drone market,
Mhm.
and in robotics. And that is essentially wholly made here in the U.S., with the exception of a motor that's made in Switzerland that we use, a small compact motor. But that's a proprietary design that, like I said, it does get used in drones and NASA and Boeing and Bell Helicopter and stuff like that. But we don't have any real visibility to those other contracts. I know that the government has needs for those sort of actuators.
And to your point, a lot of what you're going to be selling to are the primes, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah. So yeah, and real quick, as far as Sam Radar, I'll show it to you in a few minutes, but Sam Radar will show you the folks that are winning. So that'll be your prime, that you can reach out to the prime and go get them. But I love the fact that now the buyer, you can reach out to the buyer and find exactly who it is at the prime that they're working with as well. Because that's one of the biggest problems that you have is figuring out who it is, right?
Right.
Who should you be talking to? So that becomes part of that. So yeah, I appreciate that. And BAA, so Buy American Act, is increasing for the percentage. So you already have the advantage. So promoting yourself as 100% BAA compliant, or the fact that you're made here in the United States. You mentioned you have proprietary information, proprietary solutions. Is it patented?
It's not. Mostly so I acquired this company from actually a close friend of mine who wanted to retire and keep the company going and make some money. And part of his rationale was just not kind of exposing the secret sauce in it. And it's internally, it's just the absolute bare components. So anything else would be built on top of it anyways. But
Gotcha.
for that reason, he just didn't want to expose. He's got a lot of unique approaches to how he is able to create the power and performance in such a small form factor. So
yeah, well, the government's always looking for those things, and so are the primes and aerospace and other places that are looking for that. So that's one thing that I would say. And I would talk, if you're interested, we could talk about GovBrief a little bit more outside of this, and we can talk about how we can help you get out in front of those folks too.
yeah,
So
that's
awesome.
what I was hoping. That's what I was hoping.
And man, that is more sexy even than your photo is more sexy even than Rafael Moreira's glass.
I have to tell you, that was a great photo, Gregory. I was going to say the same thing. That's an amazing photo.
It is an amazing
Thanks.
photo. I have no idea what you really look like, but if you look at anything like that, you're staying away from every woman
Most
that I know.
interesting man in the world.
family.
The most interesting man in the world. Stay thirsty, my friends.
That's so funny. I get that all the time. That's the one
Dude,
thing I always say.
He
is-
bowls overhanded. Mosquitoes don't bite him out of respect.
All we
That's
got to do is
hilarious.
put you on a briefing and have you just
Oh.
show your face and as well.
10,000 people are coming. Yeah,
That's
Wow,
fantastic.
that's very nice. I appreciate
Hey,
that.
hey,
Thank
man.
very nice.
Thanks for letting us do that to you, Gregory.
you.
Appreciate it. All right, hot seat
Thank you.
question number 3.
Paul Robert, Adam Paul.
What do buyers need from us to become one of the 91%? We've already talked about capability statement. We've already talked about, hey, you got to evangelize yourself to get out there in that, to be shortlisted. Remember, 91% are shortlisted. That's 1 of 5. That's where I want to live. That's where you want to live, right, Sally?
Absolutely. I want to live there. I want to live in
So-
short list land. The short
That's
list.
exactly right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about one of the things that you like to do is do research on LinkedIn. So give us a little primer of how you do it. Share your screen and
Sure.
show us how you go about finding people on LinkedIn.
Sure.
Because this is
So,
awesome. Just this alone is awesome. And then we'll get to some questions
I'll be
as
super
well.
quick. So I'm just going to show you. I love what Raphael did, the sort of before and after. So one of the things I do as an executive connector, I watch a lot of Netflix, Hulu documentaries. And this is a gentleman who has 19,110 followers. He was on a Netflix. He was featured on a Netflix called Poison, right? Some kind of an interest, but he's a former deputy commissioner of food and policy. As you can see, he has this nice picture, very handsome, very brilliant, but he has nothing up here. Not as bad, but sort of as bad. This is a CEO and president of a company. He connects to his page, his LinkedIn page. However, this is what you could look like. So this is a customer. They basically train in 57 countries. They have SOCOM contracts. They do virtual learning. He didn't have a picture. He didn't have a LinkedIn. So what LinkedIn does is you can swap up a picture. That's nice. There's nothing wrong with that. But what we do is do some really kind of cool graphics and tell a story. And LinkedIn also, you have a URL, but you can't put it on LinkedIn. So we put like a little QR code. And then
I love that, Sally.
Yeah, he
That's
needs
a winner.
rebrand.
So you put
He
the
needs a
QR code
rebranding.
up there.
Yeah. So he needs a rebranding. So that's where obviously Dr. Raphael and his team comes in before he gets the contract with Greg. And he also needs Sam Radar, and Dave and his wonderful team gone on with this customer last week and showed them what they can do in their NACE code. But this is something really unique and interesting. So it tells a story. We like to tell a brand story on LinkedIn.
Looks
So
great,
he does.
Sal.
So the story we came up with is Learning Reimagined. That's what we're branding him as. And so the first you have this guy who's teaching. Now what's really interesting about this LinkedIn allows you to put a QR, your logo here. But what we did is we made 2 pictures, and you see the guy's leg coming in, so it's seamless. So very creative on-brand stuff. And then they're in the classroom, then it's rebranding. So that's just an idea of what you can do on LinkedIn. I'm going to stop sharing. The key with LinkedIn is it's basically, you know, free. I mean, it's free unless you get LinkedIn Navigator like I did, because I got thrown in LinkedIn jail one time. It was terrifying. But LinkedIn Navigator allows you to send more LinkedIn. So it's free. You can have your brother-in-law do it. You can do it yourself. But it's better if you get someone like Dr. Raphael to brand you, and someone who can really do a nice LinkedIn page, because people go to LinkedIn. And how we work together with the Dave team, you have to know who's buying in your persona and your target. So you use Sam Radar, you see who's buying, then you go to LinkedIn, see some of the executives, then you connect, and then you do this beautiful picture. And then when you get ready to do your contract or proposal, that's where Greg can help you. And then when you need money, because you got $1 million opportunity, Peter Timbus can help you do it. So we're really a full ecosystem group here.
Yeah.
Highly recommend LinkedIn. Hope that answers
Ella,
your
I need to
question,
know
Dave.
the balance of the ERD FP.
Sorry?
You talking to us, Greg?
I'm sorry about that.
I'm mute you.
I'm like, I don't know that about LinkedIn. Is that okay?
So think about, I like LinkedIn because you wind up being able to look by agency like you do a lot. You'll find somebody that's going to be at an event, and then you'll look them up on LinkedIn.
Yep.
And then maybe connect even before you get there, right, Sal?
Exactly. And you can also do amazing data mining on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
So with LinkedIn, you have your first level connections, but with LinkedIn Navigator, you can actually mine and create lists of second and third level connections based on your keywords, your SEO words that you'd
Mhm.
optimize on your website or in your LinkedIn or your pages. So lots of cool stuff, just like Dr. Moraro said, Greg, Dave, any of us, happy to do a, free consultation to just share what I know to see if that would add value.
So, and one of the other things, Greg, I want to pull you in on this too, because a lot of times buyers are going to only release contract opportunities to GSA contract holders, right?
Yeah.
So you got your camera working, or did it die?
Hang on.
All right, there you
He's trying to look like Gregory Liu, I think.
go. He's trying
Good
to
luck with
update his
that.
picture.
Good luck with that.
Mac Daddy
Ain't no
Pogo.
chance.
Yep.
So tell us what a GSA contract is and what it does for folks.
Well, it's a contract vehicle, as you know, it's the most basic description, where it's a contract that you get through General Services Administration that every civilian and military agency in the federal government can buy from. And in some instances, state agencies and municipalities as well. So, I mean, I'm working with a client now who has an Air Force customer who wants to buy from them, go get a contract with them through the scheduled contract. They have no idea. So as soon as this is over, I got to tell an Air Force base how to establish a contract through somebody else's GSA scheduled contract, because that office has never done it.
Imagine that. You're actually going to be informing the contracting office within the Air Force how to do business.
Yeah.
Wow.
They
And
want
that's not the first time you've done it either.
No. So, you've had it before, how do I get to you?
Yep.
Well, here we have a GSA scheduled contract. That's how you get to us. All right. How does it work? So I have to do that as soon as this is over.
So, but what I love about GSA contracts, well, first of all, you're already shortlisted against the millions of folks that are on sam.gov. That's the first thing, because there's only about 15,000 companies that have GSA contracts.
Mm-hmm.
To your point, though, the question is, how do I get to you? They're going to ask the question. If you're talking to a buyer, they're going to say, how do I get to you? And a GSA contract is one of the easiest ways to have a vehicle. You also have BPAs and IDIQs, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, blanket purchase agreements for BPAs, right? Those are
they're 8A, like Debbie.
Exactly. So socioeconomic set-asides are one avenue to be able to restrict the competition. The contract vehicle is another avenue in order to be able to restrict the competition. So much so, and you mentioned this as well, the new IDIQs and large blanket purchase agreements are creating a problem for a lot of businesses, aren't they?
Yeah, because if you're not on those contract vehicles, then you don't even see the opportunities, and you're certainly not eligible to be awarded the contract.
You don't even see them.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's why and you're chasing, you just did, what did you just do?
Oasis.
Oasis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oasis Plus,
Oasis Plus, phase one.
phase one.
And so this is where, as you got, for folks that are new, as you start to develop your relationships with the buyers, which you got to build relationships with the buyers and the program people, and you start to interact with these people, they're going to start to use words like that, like IDIQ and BPA and GWAC and all the things that you threw out earlier, right?
Yeah.
And we need to understand what they are, and you don't have to understand them while you're talking to them. You come back and you say, hey, Greg, this guy said it's a GWAC for X, Y, Z, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And what does that mean? And Greg can help you with that.
Right.
And it'll help you determine, one, if you qualify, right? Because you either qualify or don't.
It's mostly clear, it's not
mostly
clear
clear.
what kind.
Just like the rest of the government.
They don't tell you how much sales you should have, but they can reject you if they don't feel like you have enough, because you have to meet the sales requirements once you're approved. So the evaluator of your application has to determine for his or herself if they believe that you're going to meet your sales requirements of $25,000 in your first 2 years and $25,000 per year thereafter,
Right.
based upon everything that you've presented, what you're offering, how much you've sold, what your revenues have been in presenting to those. Do you have any federal customers that you sell to that you could build from? All those things go into that determination, but they don't quantify that. If you ask anybody, they're going to say, well, the evaluator will make that determination.
Mm-hmm. So you're not in it so that, none of us are in it for $25,000. Just keep the contract, right, Craig?
So yeah, it's not a huge lift, but it is enough of a lift that it keeps people from taking up space who were really motivated to get on the schedule and then fizzled out after they got their award. And now these lists of companies are enormous, and they're filled up with a bunch of people who aren't active. So as long as you're doing a minimum of 25, then that keeps the list of companies active. And the point of that is so that agencies who want to buy now have a list of active people that they can to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
If they choose to go that route, and they go that route to the tune of about $40 billion a year, right?
That's right. Yep, 40 billion. So 15,000 companies splitting 40 billion. That's not bad. Just saying. That's the way that works. All right, cool. We're going to get to some questions in just a minute. I'm going to give the opportunity for you guys to reach out of anything. Let's see. What do we got here? We got.
And Simone says, thank you.
You're welcome.
Gregory Lou has to leave. He's asking if it's recorded. He says, thanks.
So Darwayne says, how do you build a relationship with a buyer? That's a great question. The first thing you need is to know who they are. That's the first part. Figure out who they are. Then to build a relationship, what I love to do, and I'll show you in just a minute, is to just say, hey, I'd like to chat with you about this award that you just made to one of my competitors. Because we kind of do that kind of thing, or we have a different type of way of doing it that may be better for your agency. You just need to start the dialogue.
Let me jump in here, Dave.
Go ahead.
Sally, I don't know if you met this guy in Orlando, but there was a guy in boots and a cowboy hat walking around, and he has an IT services company, and I happened to be at the same table as he and his wife during lunch one day, and we started talking. He's been in business 4 months. He has subcontracts with SAIC, Deloitte, and 2 other huge companies. And in those subcontracting roles, he is interacting directly with the government customer. I said, sir, you've accomplished what everybody hopes they can accomplish. And the fact that you've done it in 4 months it's incredible that, you know, so you talk about relationships. Yeah, you want to have relationships with major prime contractors. You want to develop relationships with agencies as well. He's got them coming out his sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
And it's
We should-
because he's
we
out
should
there.
invite him.
He's built it and going to these events like you did at NVSBE.
Mhm.
But I guarantee he just didn't sit around waiting for the phone to ring, right, Greg?
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Yep.
I mean, he's an SDVOSB, yeah, and he realizes that that's his play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because those large companies, they need to subcontract out a certain portions of their work. They have to, every contract they're awarded has a small business contracting plan, subcontracting plan.
All the large businesses. That's exactly right. All right,
Yeah.
we want to get folks out of here, but I want to make sure that you get the chance to reach out to the Dr. Rafael Marrero. If you filled out something that's saying, hey, you want to have a great capability statement, Rafa and his team will reach out to you for that. And just so you know, he does capabilities briefings as well. And business cards. We're going to feature that at sometime, Rafa, your business cards as well.
Mm.
Yep.
Greg Clark will be joining me on the 28th at 1 p.m. for unsolicited proposals. Rafa mentioned that as well. It's a process that you can use to get to use for marketing as well as becoming a sole source direct awardee without having to have any socioeconomic set aside capability like an 8A or woman owned or hub zone or any of those. So reach out to Greg for proposal writing. He will be joining me, like I said, on unsolicited proposals for federal agencies. You can reach out to Sally White for LinkedIn. She's a LinkedIn expert as well as just a master at being able to help folks out at events. You were there with Peter Timbus, right? That's one of your
Correct.
clients.
Yep, we had a great booth and gave away money and all kinds of other things. It was really cool.
Yep.
Got to meet Greg and Kevin and some of the colleagues I met in here.
That's right. We meet a whole bunch of, yep, I love all the folks that go there. So Peter Timbus is the other one that does contract funding. If you need help with funding, we all need help with funding from time to time. I'm telling you, when it got down to be
Yes, we
the
do.
shutdown, he was a superstar on the shutdown briefing that we did. Irene Morales helps. She's out in the field right now. She's actually
She's wearing a blue jacket right now and a vest.
she's also a govy. So
Yep.
it's an interesting situation. But yeah, she can help with certifications and documents and things like that. And I can't say enough about Brian Hebel. We do a lot of work with him, and he's a good buddy of mine. We're working on a huge project that's going to be released in the next couple of months, and it is going to change a lot of the world as far as being able to leverage CPARs. So that's that kind of thing. And I'm Dave Lowe. I really appreciate you guys joining us for this today. And I will be doing a SAM.gov tutorial on how you can develop your searches and some of the things that you can do. We already do it with SAM Radar, so it's easy for me to be able to show you how to do it. If you join me tomorrow, you can check that out on GovBrief. And the next 321 days, we have 321 days left to disrupt the status quo. The status quo is federal buyers are buying from your competitors. That's the status quo. And unless we do something about it, they're not going to let you in. You got to answer the question of why they should let you in. And so if you want to stick around for a couple of minutes, I'll show you a little bit about SAM Radar, and you can check that out and you can check for free as well. But I'll show you, we got a brand new template that I'll show you in just a minute. But I really want to thank you guys, Sally and Rafa and Greg. Always great to hang out with you guys. Any last parting comments for anybody?
I got to jump and help a client close the deal with the Air Force.
Whatever.
So Greg, thanks everybody. I highly recommend you stick around. It will be the best half an hour you spend.
It's not even going to be that long. It's only going to be a couple minutes.
It'll be the best couple minutes you spend.
So, and I don't
buddy.
think we have, let's see, Gregory, we'll talk about that. And we'll get you followed up with it for sure. So I'm going to show you real quick what SAM Radar looks like. First of all, SAM Radar operates from email. Why? Because we live in email. We don't live in apps. You can always dig down into the research if you want to, but here is the secret. every day, somewhere between 15 and 25,000 contracts get awarded every single day. Now, we can't process that. In our brains, we just cannot do it. But what we did is we built the engine behind the scenes to say what matters to you. By NAICS codes, and you mentioned PSC, your product service codes that you can use. You also have keywords. All of these things are important, and they're never going to show up on sam.gov 98% of the time. We've got to have a plan. We've got to have a process to do that. So what I'm saying is, in 2 minutes, can you review a few emails in 2 minutes? And the answer is, of course you can. You can't look at 15 to 30,000 or 25,000 contracts in a given day. At the end of September, it was up in 30,000 land. Right now, it's about 15,000. You don't have time for that. You don't get paid for federal research. That's not your job. Your job is to build relationships. 2 minutes. That's all I want you to do is 2 minutes. Now, question is, do you care about, let's take a look at these awards. This is a new layout. So this is brand spanking new. The first thing I want to show you is this is an award for $342,000. When was it done? A few days ago. And one offer received. What does that tell you? Zero competition. Zero. It tells you a little bit about what it was about. It also shows you can download the current stats that you can find out about. But it shows you that Caitlin Savina is the contact that you want. And by just clicking this button, you can email Caitlin, and Darwayne, I think it was who was asking the question earlier. Let me go look that up. I don't remember your name. It's Darwayne, right? Darwayne Frost was asking, how do you build a relationship with a federal buyer? Well, here's one. And all you want to do is kick an email. Can you do this in 2 minutes? Yes, you can. You can fill it out and say, hey, Caitlin, I'd love to chat with you about this award. I'm working on a similar project. I just want your insight. Is Tuesday or Thursday better for you? And just ask for the dialogue. And then when you get Caitlin on the line, we have scripts. We have email templates that will show you. These are templates. Every one of these templates, every one of these scripts that we've developed to help you using this tool to engage has made millions of dollars. Millions in this space. And we have hundreds of Sam Radar users doing this right now. And all of them are flying under the radar. They're going behind the scenes. PTACs don't know about these. OSDBOs don't know about them. Nobody knows about this contract until after it hits the street. Our job, help you get in front of the next one. So that is what Sam Radar looks like, and it happens in emails just like this. And you might ask a question. It's like, oh, here's one. Here's a zero contract amount where offers received for 24. That one hit sam.gov. Get 24 respondents. And why would you have something for $0 amount? Because that's a blanket purchase agreement. So from here on out, this company called Eagle Harbor Solutions is one, if not the only company that's going to be knowing about contracts that come out next. So you want to reach out and find out and contact the prime. That's all you need to do. Just like Sally and Greg were talking about the prime contractor that was walking around in boots and a cowboy hat. This is exactly what he's doing. He's going after the prime contractors, and he can ask the buyer, he can ask Rashida who it is. If it's a huge prime like Deloitte or Northrop Grumman or Lockheed Martin, you know for a fact that this buyer knows the program manager and the contracting person inside the prime. And that's an easy ask. You can ask the buyer and they'll give you a referral. Imagine getting a referral from the person who's writing the check to the contractor. Are they going to listen to you? Yes. Are they going to talk with you? Yes. Are they going to talk to you if you just say, here's my capability statement? Even if it's a rocking capability statement, Everybody else is knocking on their door. You have an entryway. It changes the game, ladies and gentlemen. And it only takes a couple minutes a day. And within a month, you're going to have 100 people in your pipeline. And you're going to get more and more and more. And the system's going to learn about you so it can give you better information every single time. It is totally different. Nobody else operates this way. And you'll never run into anybody who's just waiting on sam.gov. Somebody call you on sam.gov. You're doing exactly what you need to do to build relationships. That's what you can do now in the CR. They're not buying anything. And if they are, they're buying it from somebody who already has a contract vehicle. This is your job. Build relationships. Our job is to help you do it. Rafa can help you. This system helps you. And then when you need to reach program managers, GovBrief helps you. But this is the tool that everybody can use. There isn't anybody that can't benefit from this. So do yourself a favor. If you just go to samradar.com, you can try it for free. And you can hear what people say, by the way. This is Steve Kennedy. This is from Monday Roundtable. That's one other thing I will tell you. Every week, Sally referred to this. Every week we get together. If you can come, great. If you can't, that's okay. We'll send you the recordings. You can take a look at them if you want. But these are Sam Radar members that are helping each other do business. It's a peer advisory group. You can't even get in unless you're a Sam Radar member. This is how we make change. This is how we're going to change the IDIQ problems that we have. We're going to work together. We're going to win things together. Teaming agreements, joint ventures happen. Subcontracting opportunities happen every week with other Sam Radar members because they're the ones that are winning. You can be a winner too. So there you go. That's all you need to do. Go right here, try it for free, and you get to save $150 and lock in your price. Do it. Do it while you can. This thing is blowing up. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys get out of here. That was enough for me. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. That's my phone number. That's my direct email, dlow@isifederal.com, and 202-568-6398 will ring my desk. So if you need anything from me, please let me know. Join me tomorrow for the sam.gov tutorial. If you would like to know behind the scenes, also Sam Radar tells you all about things that are on sam.gov. It'll give you the 2% that hits sam.gov. How you like that? So all of those things wrapped in. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. Any last minute questions before we jump? I'll check these here. And I don't see anything. You're welcome, Debbie. There you go. We'll get you sign up for Sam Radar, get your templates and scripts. That's exactly what you get. And Gregory will talk as well. Anybody else got anything else? They can raise their hand or they can, I'll unmute you. Let me see what we got. Hey, Wesley. Go ahead, Wesley. You there? Not sure you can. If you have a microphone, you can unmute. Debbie, you there? You still there, Deb?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. I'm just making sure.
Planning out a menu from when we meet.
That's right. Yeah, we need to get some gumbo going on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wesley, can you unmute yourself? I see your hand raised. Or did I miss something? And you're welcome, Stan. Let's see if there's anybody else that's got anything else here. You're welcome, Daniel. I'm hoping that helped with you, Darwayne, about how you can build relationships. Do you have the handouts? Yes, the handouts are, boom, it's the top one there. And if it's not, I might have to get some other pieces in there if they're missing, but they will be available. We'll make sure they get it. You're welcome, Terrence. Appreciate that, man. All right. We're going to get you guys out of here. Appreciate you, Rafa. You got any last minute comments for anybody? You still there, Rafa? Maybe not. I might be all by myself. I'm all by myself. All right, guys. We'll get you out of here.